All right. So have you seen these stories that are going around? It's either, Spider-Man and Doctor Strange creators are suing Marvel, or Marvel is suing their creators to hold on to the rights. There's a few lawsuits going back and forth. Have you heard
I
about
heard
this?
I heard a little bit about it. I'm still confused on how characters could just. I didn't know you could jump ship like that.
Well, it's not really jumping ship. The long and the short of it is, and I don't want to get into, like, I'm not a lawyer, so I don't understand all of it, but I've got the facts as far as I understand them. This is it. It's basically got the specific wording written down here is Steve Ditko's son, one of the creators of these characters, has filed a notice of termination of copyright. There's a statutory set period of time that apparently expires in 2023, which means he could, Steve Ditko's heirs could own the rights to these characters. Doctor Strange, Spider-Man are two specific ones that are directly named. There's even Avengers. There's other people who are getting lumped in with it. It all comes down to what is called the Marvel method and work for hire. Legal interpretations for that, which I am not qualified to explain, but I can give a little bit of an explanation. The Marvel method is essentially you work for Marvel, and it is a collaborative thing. As if I say, hey, Spider-Man, I'd like a guy to get radioactive blood with a spider, and you go, he should wear a red costume, and we all sort of create this, this mishmash of a character, and what pops out is the Marvel method. And through that Marvel method, no one directly gets to take credit for it.
Yeah, so it'd be under like the company umbrella, right?
Yes. But with that said, I'm going to advocate for the other side is if you're a fan of Marvel, I mean, do you even know who Steve Ditko is? Let me ask you that.
I don't know. I've never heard his name until right there. Okay, I don't even know his last name.
So there you go. A lot of people haven't heard of a lot of these creators. Jack Kirby, another one. Do you know who Jack Kirby is?
A little bit, yeah.
Okay, yeah. So there's creators, writers, illustrators, people who have never gotten the credit that is due. They've never gotten the monetary compensation that, I mean, these Avengers movies are making like hundreds of millions of dollars every time they drop a movie with characters that are created by these people, and they've never seen the monetary compensation except for when they worked for the company, way back in the day. So I can understand how some people are a little bit not happy about that, and they want to get what's due to them. What do you think?
Stop crying? Oh my God. Okay, listen, man. Like, that's so dumb. It just doesn't make sense. Okay, listen. If you're paid to do a job, you do a job. Okay, great. If they go on to make billions and billions of dollars, then who is it to you? Do you know what I mean? Like, if you worked for a company and the company when you started off stock was worth $2, then all of a sudden you worked your ass off for that company, and then the company's still paying you, and then company stock goes up to $100 a stock. Like, what are you asking for? You probably got a pay raise, right? You're like, hey, okay, I'm making these guys. Now we're making the Marvel universe. Here you go. This is what I want. Give me a bonus or upgrade or pay raise. And they go, sure, of course, here you go. And then they go, oh, well, the guy we created now is making billions of dollars. Yeah, and you probably had stock options in Marvel. When it got sold to Disney, you probably said, great, I'll just take my options out.
Let me slow your roll though. These are probably. We don't know for sure. These are speculations. We don't know what kind of compensation they got. We don't know if they have any stock options. We don't know. And I can understand where they're coming from is there's billions of dollars being made off these characters. They're not getting a slice of that pie. I'd want to speak up and say, hey, what about my family? What about the people, my father had to sacrifice for you. He didn't get the wage that he should have gotten while working for a comic book company, and now you've branched off into this multi-media conglomerate where you're now owned by Disney, and you're making these $100 million movies. And my father put in his time for this company. maybe it's time to kick back a little bit to his family. I'm
When
just
was-
playing a little bit devil's advocate.
Absolutely. When was Spider-Man created?
That would be in the 60s, I believe.
1960. Okay.
I don't know the exact year, but
sometime in the 60s, right? So
yeah.
I want to know how much they were made in the 60s. That's something that's probably going to come out and go, your dad was making in the 60s, let's just say $1,000 a month. Let's say you're making 12. That'd been a lot of fun. That'd be a lot of money.
That would have been a lot of money. And I would probably, I don't know if I would say that was what they were making. I know that I don't know the numbers and I don't want to speculate, but I know that it's almost a cliche that these people are never paid what they deserve. And I can understand how now that these are household names. These are legitimately, I mean, Spider-Man was a household name to me in the 90s. And I think he was a household name in the 90s, but now it's like, you can't even meet someone who doesn't know who the Avengers are at this point in our life. So I can understand some people saying like, hey, how about kicking a little bit back to me? Now, okay, I think we both know where we will stand on this. Let me ask you this. Do you think that they have any legal precedent?
No.
Now, we're not lawyers, so we don't.
No.
No.
Stop crying. Kiss my ass. Like, dude, I understand you're an artist. I understand let's say there's a team of 10 of you, and you say the Marvel effect, and you say, I want radioactiveness, and I want this, and I want that. And then it comes out and it's Spider-Man. Okay, great. You guys made Spider-Man. Now give me $10,000 to get the comic out. Well, I can't. Okay, so my company is going to put the 10 G's up, okay, to make a comic. Great. Now, 50 years down the road, it's now worth $1 billion. It's $1 billion franchise.
Yeah.
Okay, your family didn't want to put the money up for it. Mm-hmm. So that's too bad for you.
Yeah, so I tend to agree. I do believe that the creators have, I don't know if I would say they have a right, but on a legal point, do they have a right? Probably not. But on a moral standing, I would like to see them receive more monetary compensation than they've gotten. With that said, I just want to finish that point is when you work for a company and you create something on company time, it is then their intellectual property. And once it's there, you create something while working for a company, it's their intellectual property. Give them the right to publish that character. It's their intellectual property. That's my understanding. That's how I feel.
I'm with you on that one, man. It's the company, I bought it and it's mine. It's like, where does it stop? Does the first person who built your house back in, like, let's just say 1950, let's just use that as an example, 1950, all of a sudden now you sell your house and now you sell your house for $500,000. Now, does the person who built that house go, well, if I would have known that in my life, that would have been 500,000, I wouldn't have sold the house for 180 back in the early 2000s. Adam, I'm going to need some of that money.
It's an interesting comparison. I see what you're saying. I don't know. I mean, when it comes to a creative work, it's a little bit different, but I do see what
somebody
you're saying.
Created that house.
Yeah.
Hey man, you know what? That was my baby. I drew it all up myself.
So let me ask you to put the nail on the head, the final nail on the head. What do you think is the outcome they're looking for? Do you think that, the son of Steve Ditko is looking to own Spider-Man and then take them over to another, they're going to go to Netflix and put a Spider-Man movie there, or, Doctor Strange is going to show up on Amazon Prime as an exclusive character because Steve Ditko is planning on owning now those characters? Do you think that's what they're going for?
Or does he make the jump to DC and he shows up and beats the living piss out of Aquaman? Or
do they just open up their own franchise where now it's their own characters and they got to make up, instead of the Green Goblin, it's the purple troll that he's fighting instead of the Green Goblin, or some backwards Wish version of the Marvel characters.
Wow, that'd be awesome. The Wish versions.
So
I would like that.
Do you think that's what he's going for?
No, I think he's going to go for like 0.1%, 0.01, or probably like 0.02% box office from here on in. I think that's what he wants.
Yeah, I don't know about what exactly he's looking for in terms of percentage or whatever. But I think he's looking for a payday. I think he
That's
wants
it.
to
No,
get paid. Maybe he deserves to get paid, or the family deserves to get paid, and they're probably going to get paid. I mean, Disney's got a lot of money, you know, like a lot of money.
straight up.
Throw some fucking money at it, and that problem's gonna go away, whether it's legitimate or not.